James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today's November 21st, 2022, 1 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world, folks. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. We've had yet another large earthquake on the Cascadia Subduction zone. This time, a 5.2 magnitude hit the Juan de Fuca plate, where it's being subsided under the North American plate by the pressure being placed on it by the Pacific plate. And a 5.2 earthquake at the default depth of 10 kilometers with an associated tsunami warning. This will mean more pressure in the Cascadias, more pressure in the Snake River caldera, more pressure up and down the North American Pacific plate boundary, more pressure in Yellowstone, etc. We will take a look at the buoys to make sure that there is no event. But before we move on, I'd like to also mention that there was a second smaller earthquake as well, a 2.0, at only 3.3 kilometers. And that's supposed to be below the surface of the sea, which sounds very shallow to me. Again, the 5.2 with a tsunami warning, followed up by a much smaller 2.0 aftershock, and this pressure will move into the North American continent. With all that said, we had another earthquake over in Indonesia, although it was only recorded as a 5.6 per the USGS, as we will look at other models. It came in as an 8 on the DYFI, an 8 on the shake map, and believe it or not, that little 5.6 magnitude earthquake dispatched dozens of people in the capital of Indonesia, period. Jumping over to volcanosandearthquakes.com, the French came in at a 5.0, everyone else came in at a 5.2. It's strange to see all the recording agencies chime in on this earthquake. We're going to get some detailed information here. None of the agencies, according to volcanosandearthquakes.com, have an actual depth of the earthquake. This was called a strong magnitude 5.2 earthquake right there on the Juan de Fuca plate about 3 hours ago, folks. If you don't think a 5.2 earthquake is very powerful, well, it is capable of creating a tsunami, and a 5.5 earthquake just dispatched dozens of people in the capital of Indonesia. Dozens. Heading over again to Volcano Discovery, taking a look at the earthquake details of the 5.2 that hit the Juan de Fuca plate, being subsided under the Cascadia Subduction zone, i.e. the Cascadia volcanic range. The earthquake only released the equivalent of 951 tons of dynamite, or TNT. And taking a look at all the recording agencies, everyone comes in at a 5.2. Of course, the French come in at 5.0. No one does have a depth on this earthquake yet. Default depth, 10 kilometers. Heading over to the National Buoy Center, we see that no buoys are in event mode currently whatsoever. No tsunami was generated by this earthquake. We do have tweets coming out from Indonesia with casualties, only a 5.6 magnitude earthquake, and we had many of the buildings collapse. Seems like a very small earthquake, but in fact, that was the result. As you can see, dozens of buildings collapsed, and the residents inside didn't fare well. Two more quick tweets of that 5.6 magnitude earthquake. Very, very damaging for such a small earthquake. I'm sure that the toll from this earthquake will only rise, only a 5.6, although I believe it to be a big downgrade since both the shake map and the DYFI came in at above an 8. So we had that 5-6 hit, came in above an 8 on everything. I don't know how it got called a 5.6. And then we are in fact dealing with a very large 5.2 that had a tsunami warning that didn't pan out, but that pressure will be moving onshore in Oregon, Washington, and California, and perhaps even further into the central part of the United States. God bless you and yours, folks. Please share, subscribe, and always remember that anything is possible in Bizarro World.